Hey, everybody. This is a SOMIFA semifinal game between the uh, Denver Broncos and the Chicago Bears, joining the game in progress with Chicago driving. Let me see if I can look at the ball possession real quick. So Denver got the ball first. They drove down to the Chicago 34 and turned it over on downs. And then Chicago got the ball back, and now they are uh, driving deep into Denver territory. Here's an 11-yard pickup, guessed wrong on a flat pass. Guessed right would have been incomplete. Let me see if I can get our pass rush matchup soon. And let's see who else is here. Nobody else is here. So I think Tim and or Michael Reeves are going to be joining us. So we'll look forward to that. Jonathan Taylor is the engine that makes the Bears offense go. It's a screen left to Taylor because of the respect for his run column. You have to call run. And Tony got caught there, guessed wrong 2 plays in a row. And now he's got it on the doorstep. 1st and goal to 2. Very strong Bears team. Tony is a 2-time back-to-back SSFA champion. Yet to win SOMIFA, I believe. And I don't think Brad, who is the coach of Chicago, has won SOMIFA either. So one of these coaches will be in the Super Bowl with a chance to win it all. And there's a guessed wrong run to Durham Smythe. A guessed wrong pass to Durham Smythe. Short pass to the second tight end. And he is in for the touchdown. So there is the first score of the game. The Bears get the ball back after holding the Broncos out of the off the board, stopping them just in field goal range, I believe, or just outside of field goal range. Oh, here's the kick to Byron Pringle. And look at that, touchdown on 3. He gets 34 yards, so they'll start at the 33. Anytime he gets the ball at the 1-yard line or -1 yard line or 0-yard line, anywhere where he has a choice, I guess the 0 and the -1 are the real ones that we have to look at. He's going to return it, even though Chicago has good coverage on 7, 8, and 12. Inside run to Raheem Mostert, guessed wrong, man in the zone, short gain, 15 yards, and moved the chains. Near midfield already after that fine Byron Pringle return. Let me put the link out there. There's a fly to Brandon Ayuk. I think I shared the wrong link out. Oh, no, there they are. Hey, guys. I thought you guys were getting an error. There's a guest right long pass to Big Ben Roethlisberger that goes for 28. So, did you guys watch the first part of the game? I joined late, but I saw on the ball possession chart that Tony had driven down just like this and turned it over on downs, and then Brad took it back and got a touchdown.
No, I'm brand new here, Dennis. Brand new.
Yep, same here. I just joined myself.
Perfect. Okay, so that's what we saw so far. I'll show you guys. And the last 3 plays I saw on the scoring drive, Brad had Tony guessing wrong. He was guessing run, and he was throwing flat, throwing short, and that got him into the end zone. 3 plays, 3 guessed wrong passes in a row. Here's a short pass to Brandon Ayuk. Guessed right, 3-man in zone on a 2nd and 2, as Tony's driven right back down the field. Quarterback's flush from the pocket. See, those are the things, that's one thing about the nuance of the dump-off rule. And I like this on the extra charts that you get to see. But it was on the interception split on the D card. It didn't hit an interception. Otherwise, it would have been picked. But it hit, 2 through 4 is a pick. 5 through 12 is plus 12. It hit the plus 12. We saw it on the screen momentarily. But because there's a D there, it turns into a dump-off, and it was incomplete.
Yep. All non-interception results on the defensive cards go to the dump-off. So, yep.
Right. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Or even I, it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah, and at one point, I was wondering, is the interception being checked? Because we used to not see it. So it's kind of neat that they are at least displaying it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's almost to the point where, crossing pattern here with 3-man in zone, you're getting like, here's what you could have done differently. If you would have done this,
yeah,
it'd be kind of cool to see that.
Yeah.
Another flush, another incomplete. That'll be 2nd and 10. Let me see if I can sneak in the pass rush matchup. There we go. Okay, now, like I said, this is so I gotta get some stuff done. So, Tim, would you mind taking over play-by-play? Michael, you do color. I gotta go do something real quick.
No
What
problem.
do I need to do here? Just gonna
got my screen up. Put my game back up here. Okay, so it's 7-0 Chicago. Minute 48 remaining first quarter. Here's Big missing again. That time it was double teamed. Looking for Keenan Allen on the play. So we've got a 3rd and 10 at the Chicago 11. Denver trying to get this game knotted up at 7. Fins had several flat pass misses on the drive, but the first 2 were off the receiver's card that I saw, and then this one double teamed. One running back for wide receiver set here. Short to Christian Kirk. Defense double teaming elsewhere, incomplete, making the play, Rodney McLeod, and it's going to set up a field goal attempt on 4th and 10. Chicago looking to get on the board, or stay ahead here, and Denver looking to get on the board. Oh, Zane Gonzalez misses it 2 through 9 and 12, and it comes up a 10. I wonder if he counted to 5, Dennis, you know? All right, so Matt Ryan back on the field, up 7-0. I tell you, Taylor was terrifying. I was I was really glad I only had to face him like once or twice this year in my leagues. He's a force to be reckoned with. And there he goes, 16 so far, 3 for 25 for Taylor.
Well, you know, on top of that, look at that line he's got. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, you can get good plays guessed right with that type of line.
Mm-hmm.
Not showing blitz, 3-4. Here's a linebacker 6-0 coming up, and it's going to be a 12-yard pickup. Flat to Darren Waller. One of the guys I absolutely wish I had taken. He was on the board. I was looking for tight ends, and I just didn't trust his past enough to draft him high enough, and so I didn't get him. I made like 2 great tight ends out of a 3-year span I didn't get. I traded away my pick in a few years ago to get Mahomes, but that extra to move up from 4 to 2 cost me the pick that ended up being George Kittle. So, yeah, you kind of miss guys like Kittle.
Sure.
Eric Ebron is nice and everything like that. He ain't no George Kittle.
No, you're.
So Taylor loses a yard here, 2nd and 11. I haven't seen either team show blitz much. I'm not sure how much either team does blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Take a quick look here at the. He's got mostly 5s on the defensive line, but he's got a left guard 7 pass blocker and then a right guard 3. So opportunity with your second linebacker to get home there, but the first linebacker is going to pick up a lot of the great blitzing linebackers out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Dalton Schultz in, 2 tight end set. Schultz got a nice run block of 5, so he does have some extra little boost to the run blocking. A lot of good receiving tight ends. You'll see as a 4, and if you're Eric Ebron, you can even pull 0s as a tight end.
Or a Gesicki, that's right.
Yeah. Hoping they're taking their time and I'm not stuck. We'll find out soon enough. So early second quarter, Jonathan Taylor sitting on 20 unfatigued carries, and he's one of those guys that's good enough. You can use fatigue levels 1 and 2 if you want, and get him up to about 24 unfatigued carries remaining, or 24 carries remaining, I should say. Well, starting to think we're stuck.
I believe we are too.
So, Michael, how do you feel about receivers like Michael Thomas, Antonio Brown, who don't have long gains but have lots of catches, as compared to like a Donovan Peoples-Jones?
I'm starting to learn. I played this game for 4 years, and I'm starting to learn the value of a deep threat as opposed. Sometimes these fives over the middle are kind of overrated, in the sense that, to get a five who can't go deep, it usually means that you're going to run a 3 wide set, and you got a like quintessential third wide receiver. But then, of course, you've got that penalty for every time you get that white die one. In autumn wind, I had a real problem with that. I've got a really good receiver like Russell Gage, who is a 5 short, and it's nice to have him, but really the only thing you could do is throw him in there on passing downs, because you've got a solid J.K. Dobbins, who when you get that white die one, sometimes can get you a loss around the end. So I see sometimes I truly see the value of just running, and having that nice 5 or 6 on the outside to go over the top.
Yeah, I had a couple of years ago in SOMIFA, I had like a Calvin Ridley card that he was like 5.55, so he catches a lot, but there wasn't a long gain on the card.
Mhm.
Longest reception was, like 36 yards or so, and I don't know, it kind of bothered me. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like guys with long gains, even if they don't catch everything. Personally,
Absolutely.
I guess because I am a run-based team and I'm going to stay in run formation, I want my 2 wideouts, if I'm going to them short or long, to be able to make big plays. So
100%. I agree with you there.
We're back, guys. So after that lockup, there was a 3rd and 8. He ran Jonathan Taylor to the outside for 2 yards. It was a white die 1, so he stayed base. It wouldn't make any difference, but containment was going to be in effect. That's my point. And then he punted. So now Tony, who's got to feel a little bit snake bit, he turned it over on downs, had that short field goal shank. Now he's got the ball back, only down a single score, 2nd and 5. And you guys have been in that position, right, where you things are just going wrong for you at the beginning of the game, but if you keep it close, you got a chance.
Yeah, and you have to realize, you may have the breaks the last 40 minutes of the game that, blow away the first 20 minutes of breaks for the other guy. Roethlisberger's also been struggling on his flats, so Tony's also got that kind of in the back of his mind.
The fact that you can get to a conference semifinals with this Big Ben card is a testament to Tony's coaching and the rest of his team.
I think Roethlisberger's fairly decent this year. One of his hidden things that I think works well in a league like this with the dump off rule is he doesn't have a lot of must runs for 0 or +1 or anything. So, a lot of the misses on his guest right short card do go to dump off compared to a lot of guys.
That makes sense.
It's not a huge thing, but it might be an extra couple of, +6s, +8s that you can kind of toss in there. I used to just kind of look at it as like, he's only got like 14 and he's not going to get any must run big plays. But, like I say, you'll also get a few extra dump offs with guys like that don't really must run much.
Tim, since I'm calling it the game later, do you mind taking the lead on the play-by-play? And then I'll just jump in like a Howard Cosell and Michael can be Dandy Don Meredith.
That's perfectly fine. And you guys jump in at any time. And so we're at 2nd and 4, Chicago at their own 40, up 7-0, 10.5 left. Lots of blitzers. Right flat to Michael Thomas, and it's going to be a +8. Dennis and Michael and I were just discussing the pros and cons of a possession receiver like Michael Thomas, Antonio Brown versus Donovan Peoples-Jones. And I've seen you use both of them. What's your personal preference if you had to take a guy that's like 6'4", flat, short, long with no long gains, or a guy that's like 4'4". Who do you like better?
Well, if they have the yardage, like those +20s and +24s, gosh, I think I'm starting to lean more toward those guys. Mm-hmm. I do want to have that max guy. If I had both those guys, I'd go with Peoples-Jones on my side of the 50, and then once I get on the other side of the 50, I'd go with a guy with the hits, And especially inside the 10, when you go to that short yardage formation, you want that max guy to catch those guess wrong short passes.
Yeah, and I really think the inside the 10 is where those guys really come in handy. My autumn win team, I've got Marcus Johnson and Ruggs, who are the guys that drop a lot but are loaded with long gains, and then I have Antonio Brown. And it ends up, I've put Brown in pretty much all at one of those two spots every game. I feel more comfortable having one guy that can catch it at least from the wide receiver spot a lot. But I'm really tempted, just because I run a lot, I'm really tempted just to go with the two breakaway receivers. But, it's hard to keep a guy that's, 6 short on the bench all the time. So
Absolutely. There's a pickup that sets up a 4th and 3, kind of just outside of no man's land. I think you probably
go for it.
I think I would go for it, but I think when you have the lead in a semifinal, I could see him Brad punting, and that's what he does.
I've learned from a guy that seems to always have Russell Wilson on his team that there's times I feel like I'm hurting myself more by not going for it on 4th and 3 and those kind of situations. And I've really gotten to where I typically will go for a lot of those, even if my team doesn't really fit that strategy. If you're going to get a 30-yard out-of-bound punt, it's just not that huge a gain versus getting a first down at the opponent's 42 or something.
Now, does it affect your opinion if you feel you have the better team? Like, I think Tony's Brad seems better on paper, so maybe that factors into his decision.
No, it absolutely does. And also, if I have a team that is with an reception, see what kind of return we get. There goes Big Ben.
That's where he hurts you, is in those deep and short passes. The interception splits are so high.
Yeah, they're not atrocious, but you're right. They're high for the era.
Right. If you get a D die, you're right. There's a lot of blanks there that can give you some good dump offs too.
Yeah. He doesn't must run much anymore. So there's Jonathan Taylor picking up 11. So at least it was a long pass if you're looking at it from Tony's standpoint with a 4-yard return. You don't want a flat and 20-yard return when you're that deep in your own territory. So he had at least a little bit of breathing room. And even after that 11, he's at the 36. And there's a +1 nice double team on Darren Waller.
Yeah, Tony does have a 6 free safety. So he could make that really work at a 3-4 with the other 6 outside linebacker. It's a nice combo.
Absolutely. And it's pretty easy to double the tight ends in a 2 tight end set when you're running a 3-4 with 6 free safety.
There's another 2-man in zone flat pass. Pretty nice defense by Tony. He's got to feel like, man, I got to keep him out of field goal range, get the ball back. I think he's got a good kicker though. Doesn't Brad have a good kicker?
Checking now. 2 through 5 from deep and 2 through 9 and 12.
Okay, so not that impactful deep. So he needs to get this. He needs to get this inside the 32 if he can.
He's absolutely no man's land here. Punt is just not a very good option here. It's almost a certain touchback. So
he stays base, runs it.
He's thinking 4 downs, isn't he, Dennis?
No, I think he just wanted to get into field goal range. He wants to. He wants a 2-score lead.
Yep.
So now that he's at the 30, here comes Cairo.
Yep.
But still not outside of the variable hit.
Nope.
He nailed it.
So 10-0 Chicago.
Tony trying his best to keep his head above water. He's had the shanked field goal, interception, and the turnover on downs. He needs to get one good drive going.
Check real quick, see who received the opening kickoff. It looks like Denver did, so they want to score here.
Got the old halftime bug here, so let me get back in.
Okay, 2nd and 7. Mostert picking up 3. Another really good running card from Raheem Mostert this year. Look in Mostert, 2-man in zone, guess wrong. And again, Tony's just not hitting the card on the right down, and the way the play's being called, he'll help his team the most. You want to, of course, roll Roethlisberger's card, guess wrong there, but instead you hit the 2-man in zone. There's a pickup of 11, big pickup there.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of needed to keep this drive going. You wouldn't want to possibly not get the ball back until mid-third quarter. So very nice pickup there. So he's going deep. Keenan Allen's a dump off. It's going to be a 2-yard pickup. Nice tackle by Dre Greenlaw.
What's your feeling on he had that great rookie year, and then this year didn't seem to be quite as impactful in the San Francisco offense?
Personally, I saw quite a bit of negative press from him early that, he was kind of getting buried in the depth chart, but he obviously broke out of that toward the end of the year. He's one of those guys, what's the guy's name at the Eagles that is a receiver that hadn't quite developed, has a lot of potential, though.
Jalen Reagor?
Yes, exactly. And those kind of guys kind of reminded me of each other. I was kind of afraid to take them too early, but I'd really like to have picked up either one of them in like late 3 or 4, but I was a little leery of picking up either of them too early.
Another big third down here for Tony.
Yep, 3rd and 7.
Back to Ayuk, but he's doubled by a linebacker this time.
I think
incomplete, right, wrong, or double. So
might get a little help if you're Denver here from the clock. He's going to have to really press things. I get a feeling he's more likely to let Jonathan Taylor try to get a first down or 2 and gobble up the rest of the clock and then take the second half kickoff. I don't think he'll be real risky here personally.
This is tough, though, for the defense because you want to just call pass, and he's going to run Taylor and run or off tackle, try to hit a big number, but it's just so hard to call run. You almost have to force yourself. But I guess it's a little bit easier with a 6-free safety, but gosh, calling run and getting caught deep or calling pass and getting hit big by Taylor.
Yep, and all of us are kind of concerned as we start to get to the end of half of how many running of my 15 remaining unfatigued, how many of them do I want to use here? Do I want to use 5 of those to move it from the 20 to midfield and then have the half end, or do I want to save those a little bit? And he's also really leery about not turning it over up 10-0 at his 20 since he's going to get the second half kickoffs.
Yeah, it's nice to have. I brought in James Conner in a situation like this in the S28 Super Bowl. Got lucky as heck and hit his plus 59, his biggest year on an in run when I was just trying to save carries from my other back.
It was right at the end of the half, wasn't it? First half?
Yes, it was.
Yep.
And there he is. He forced himself to call run, and wouldn't you know it, Brad's going over the top. Great call by Brad, but he just hit an interception split.
Total of 10 guess wrong completions for Ryan, not top of the set level, but Ryan's still a really good quarterback this year. Might be a little bit undercarded. He's actually a pretty good quarterback the last couple of years.
Now Brad brings in Mike Davis on third down.
We're seeing Tony stay in a 3-4 here after seeing that's interesting. I might not go 3-4 with Mike Davis.
Yeah, I definitely would go 3-3-5. But the good news is if Tony gets an incomplete here, he's going to get the ball back with all 3 timeouts and lots of time.
Yep.
You might see Brad run just to make him use one of those timeouts.
He does. He gets 9. Ooh, not going to go for it, but.
And interesting that he had moved the left inside linebacker to double the tight end. If he had run Davis the other way and hit that short gain, there would have been no containment.
Yep.
So, Michael and Tim, have you guys played either of these coaches this year, and how did you do against them?
I'll have to look. When at the half, I'll take a look and see.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look. I think I played Chicago, but not Denver this year.
I lost to Chicago twice during the regular season. I mean, once during the regular season, and he knocked me off in the playoffs last week.
Yeah.
And I played Denver too, I think. Let me double check that.
Nope, I lost. Yeah, I actually lost to Denver 35-21 and did not play Chicago, so I had it backwards.
That punt pinned him deep, which kind of now he's looking for Mostert plus 80 to get him in gear.
Right. I'm one of those guys that I don't mind using some of those carries in a situation like this if they've got the really huge game. It's almost for sure going to be guessed wrong, and that's kind of what they're there for me. Hit a big play and a situation where I don't have enough time to drive the length of the field.
So I lost to Tony 30-26. I lost 2 times to Brad. So these guys got my number this year. Now Tony's thinking about, Brad's thinking about using the timeout to get the ball back. No, he lets the clock run. Both teams are likely content to go into the locker room with the score just at 10-0.
Yeah. Sort of like the end of regulation, or no, it was overtime in the Raiders-Chargers season finale. Both teams are kind of looking for the clock to run out, but
right, exactly. Still a chance he could hit that big number. No containment on 3rd and 4.
And he goes with the line butt. He gets 7. And we'll probably see a timeout unless he's just thinking, I don't want to spend any more Mostert carries. Yep, that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, that's a good point you brought up. You kind of want to have one worse running back with that one big number on the outside to use him in situations like that.
Yep. Especially if you get down to a end of the game situation and somebody's running dime against you, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, Tim, put yourself in Brad's shoes here. You got the lead, you got the ball. What are you going to try to do on this drive?
15 Taylor carries remaining. They've been kind of getting double teamed, Waller and Schultz, when they go short. I might just kind of do some West Coast stuff for a few plays and see if I can get a first down or two. Thinking they're looking at Taylor, thinking they're looking at me running a long drive, and I've got my great running back here. So I think I might try to counter that with kind of some West Coast play or two, try to get a first down or two. He's going Mike Davis, which I think actually makes the defense, a little more hesitant to call pass in some ways, because you're thinking, a short yardage situation like that, he's going for the first down. He's got the guy he doesn't want to burn up a carry guest right in here. So, sometimes both coaches are kind of working the counter tendency phase of the game, and I think that comes into play quite a bit. There's a look in with a 6 middle linebacker comes off. This is one thing that's been kind of going on when Brad and Tony have had it's my card, it's great, it's your card, it's terrible. A lot of those have been kind of falling Brad's way early in the game.
Yeah, that's some really good points there. I like that idea of, he's going to call run a lot, so use those flat passes and try to work it down the field.
You might. I don't think you'll see desperation out of Tony, but some coaches, you might see a little desperation of wanting to get that first down run key or something like that as well. Blitz a lot, double team a whole lot, and that kind of settles the defense down a little bit as well, I think.
Yeah, good call there. He calls run and stuff the zone. Now, he brings in Mike Davis, even though it's 2nd and more than 5. So, do you dare call run again? Like you said, you don't really – Davis is not going to hit you that much, guess wrong, but there he does. He calls run. Great call by Tony.
And that's where Mike Davis isn't so great, guess right.
Yeah, guess right, he's not. But then if he had said, I don't really care, he's not going to hit me with a big play, it would have been another first down. Now it's 3rd and 7. That was a short take. It's wrong.
Yeah, Taylor would have picked up just 2 on that, but 3rd and 5 is a more makeable situation than 3rd and 7.
And Michael, how are you? Put yourself in the mind of Tony. Like, after you get the ball back, you're going to be down 2 scores at least. How do you get back in this game offensively? Oh, he called run on 3rd down and 7.
No containment either again.
Man, what a great call. He's in no hurry. You know what I'm saying? Just stay with your game plan. Just dink and dunk. and get yourself back into this, because this isn't a team that can throw deep anyway.
Yeah, both of these guys, like Tim pointed out, with Matt Ryan's card not being elite on the deep pass card, neither is Big Ben's, and both of them have high splits. Big Ben's worse than Ryan, but yeah, it'll be one in the flat passes and the runs, I think.
I'll wait till this play ends. What's nice about both of these clubs is they've got those 6 free safeties. And, when you're playing that 3-4, you can decide which of those that you want to flood, and you can replace it with a 6, so long as the guy doesn't go over the top. That's such a nice advantage.
I've seen some coaches in draft leagues have a 5 and a 6 free safety, and they'll put their 6 over the tight end and their 5 as the free safety. Man, that just drives me nuts. You got to put that 6 at free safety.
Yeah.
So many things you can do with them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You were asking how I'd done against any of these clubs. I didn't play Chicago, but I lost to Denver 23-12, and I think what's the other final, Atlanta and Dallas?
Yes.
I lost to Atlanta 19-11 and to Dallas 19-16. That's quite a story, 9-7 getting to the Final Four.
That's Zeb for you. Nice call here on offense. Tony goes square into Woods, but he gets that bad break again. There was nobody in the zone. Tim, you nailed it when it's like, it's just falling Brad's way right now.
Yeah, those things can even out in a hurry. All of a sudden it seems like everything's going your way. Then you get a dump off for a 63-yard touchdown, and you're like, okay, that kind of makes up for about 5 of those plays.
Yeah. He still has to stay with the plan, but if he can, obviously he can't keep dodging bullets here defensively.
Speaking of, look at this.
There's the break he's been waiting for.
Like you said, that's the kind of break that's worth like 5 or 6 of those flat passes, not hitting a blank, forcing you to punt. He just got 80 yards in a hurry or 60 yards in a hurry, something like that.
Yep.
54 plus 9.
63, yeah.
63 yards, split the field. It's got a chance to cut this to a single score, maybe even just a field goal.
Got Mostert in, and his carries are down to 4 unfatigued. Of course, he's good enough. You could use the first 2 fatigued with no worries, but starting to see both coaches getting to the point of their rationing running back carries a little bit.
He's got Sony Michel. I think this is where you want him in with all those short gains and not the big hits. You want to save Mostert for those big ones on the other side of the field.
Yeah. I think Mostert has more of those +8s and +9s, which will really work here too. There's 3. Mostert's one of those guys in real life. When I first started seeing him, I just thought he was kind of an end run type. The more you watch him, this guy's got a lot of inside game too.
Let me see.
Run up the middle.
Yeah, I guess Michel's not quite as he's got a lot of 5s and 6s along with the short gains. That linebacker up the middle linebacking off tackle look good right here.
See if we'll see a free safety blitz. Mostert's a 0 versus the asterisk.
It's the details that get you in this game. No, he doesn't blitz.
No dump off inside the 10, so it's kind of an all or nothing if the short passes is called.
Look at that line. See, they got Aaron Donald's there, so they do have an asterisk there against that 0 if it comes up.
Yep. And if Mostert happens to be the intended receiver, that asterisk is automatic. So,
good point. I think they're counting to 5 here, just like I do on film.
While you were away, Dennis, we made a point about that when Tony missed a field goal earlier. I was like, I wonder if he counted to 5.
Yeah, my superstition.
We've all got our superstitions.
Single covered, incomplete on the quarterback's card.
You got to feel Brad's feeling a sigh of relief after a deep inside his territory turnover, getting away with a field goal attempt. 1, 2, okay.
He just did it.
So kickoff to the goal line. Isaiah Rodgers.
Big return card. He's going to bring it out.
am leaning more toward returning them, and that's just a recent change in like the middle of this particular stretch season, just due to the fact that the 11, of course, is only 50% and then 50% you'd lose those. So really, it's kind of a lower risk kind of play if you've got a playmaker back there than a lot of people might think. So I'm getting to where I'm trying to, if a guy's got like 75 on 2 and he's got plus 26, plus 28s on a lot of his middle kind of things, I'm getting to where I want to let those guys bring them back, where I was almost always a take a touchback almost anytime you can kind of guy. But I'm starting to lean more toward letting that guy bring him out if he's got a big play.
Yeah, because you need those, especially in playoff games. Big plays and turnovers will right the tail of the tail. And speaking of, he just narrowly avoided landing on the interceptions, but I guess, I think I forgot to mention this, but Denver does have the better cards on
big second and 10 pickup for 21 yards, Jonathan Taylor. And another thing, Dennis, we look at, you talk about big plays, and I totally agree. You need big plays mixed in. That's saving your running back carries too. If you happen to hit a plus 75 on a kickoff return, it might be 8 or 10 offensive plays, of which 4 or 5 might be your lead back getting fatigued. So there's a real benefit in getting big plays mixed in.
That's a good point.
79 and 24 more. That's going to put Taylor over 100, 14 for 103.
You hate to see those snake eyes when you got Taylor guessed wrong.
Yep.
It's so hard to stop. So, yeah, just to bring that point back up, Denver's got the good pass D cards. Chicago's got the average pass D cards. But Chicago's got the lead, and they got the ball inside the red zone.
Flat pass left at the 6 to Michael Davis. That'll pick up 1. It's be second and 9.
So he's been seeing him either leave 2 guys in the look-in or move 2 guys to the right flat. And he's been saying, I'll just throw it to 6. I don't care if I get the white die 6. I just want to not throw it into a double team or a 2-minute zone.
And you've got to keep those kind of guys honest. If you never throw at them, they're going to show up at the wrong time in a blitz or a double team. You've got to throw at them some. There's a good call.
Good call.
Calls run. Loads the zone. Center makes the block. 5 yards. Chase Rollier.
So what was on the menu for you tonight, Michael? Last time we were broadcasting, you had some tuna and some salmon.
Well, tonight went to a friend's house. Got him some, hold on, call this play.
4th and 1.
Ooh, what do you guys think?
No, you got to kick the field goal. Get two-score lead again. Even me, I wouldn't go for it there.
Really, Dennis? That's kind of surprising. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that is kind of surprising because I'm kind of 50-50 there in a way, thinking with all this time left in the half, I've got a huge field position advantage if I happen not to get it. But, man, it's a really big lead if I go up, 17-3 instead of 13-3. But I like I say, I'm kind of 50-50 on it.
Got an offensive line full of 6s, too, with that full house.
Yep.
I seem to be more conservative when I'm broadcasting a game and telling you what I do. But when I'm actually in the situation, oftentimes I will let my aggressiveness get the best of me.
Yeah, do me a favor and go get Dennis and put him on the broadcast, please.
I think both Dennis and I also get a little bit more conservative from at least my observations in playoff games. I think we're a little bit more conservative, like kicking that field goal on 3rd and 1 from the 20 or something like that, or 4th and 1 versus going for it.
So friend of mine had a birthday tonight, so I went to Big Boy and got him a gift card and got me a Big Boy. There's your answer.
So what's a Big Boy? Is that like a Bob's Big Boy?
It'd be like a Jack in the Box for you guys.
Is it a Kips?
Never heard of that.
Oh, okay. We used to have I don't know, kind of a diner kind of place. It's really not common in Texas, but it was called Kip's Big Boy. And it had like a kind of a oversized 15-year-old kind of as their sign.
That's it.
Okay. Yep. I've ate there a few times. I've never had any complaints. Like I say, it was kind of a different type of place. We tend to have more sit-down restaurants or fast food here in Texas. Not many kind of tweeners like that.
Frisch's is headquartered out of Cincinnati.
Oh,
Very cool. I'm gonna have to put that on my must-try list one of these days whenever I'm out.
bucket for the Midwest list.
There you go. That and Culver's. I'm gonna get some custard, frozen custard at Culver's. I've heard a lot about that one. And of course, Whataburger. I went to Houston to watch the Seahawks and Texans, but we never got around to hitting up Whataburger. Tim, are you pro Whataburger?
They're good burgers and such. I just don't go there all that often, but they are good burgers, and they're definitely a very Texas-specific kind of thing. You can find them anywhere in Texas, just about. Kitty, be quiet.
I missed a couple plays there, guys. I guess my connection went bad. So
Michelle had a pickup of 21, and they've added another first down. So they've got down to Chicago 28, and Denver really wants to get at least a field goal out of this drive.
there's a guess strong short pass. That should be good.
Keenan Allen ain't going to drop them unless it's on a 7. What'd you have for dinner tonight, Dennis?
Tonight was it's cold. It's cold out here for California standards. So tonight we had chicken soup with rice, homemade in the Instapot. It's my favorite toy lately.
Yeah.
Yep. We bought a Instapot for my parents for Christmas, and I made that decision a 3 years ago: a pressure cooker, a modern one, or Instapot. I went pressure cooker. I don't regret it, but I've heard a lot about Instapots, and they do things the pressure cooker cannot. So. But the modern pressure cookers are so different than the ones from a long time ago. I mean, I can take literally a frozen roast and have it fully cooked in like 40 minutes. So.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I didn't do, I just had a frozen Stouffer's spinach souffle tonight because we're getting rain, which is now probably ice because the temperatures just went under 32 a little bit ago. So we're going to be iced in for a day or two. And anyway, I grabbed a spinach souffle a couple days ago when I was at Kroger, and I was like, yeah, that sounds really good tonight.
Nice. But don't let that fool you guys. Tim is like as close to a gourmet chef that I know. I always catch him whipping up some Indian food or some tiki masala or some. What was some of the other things you were cooking that just sounded really good?
Yeah, I have quite a few Indian dishes. I like to cook, and as a matter of fact, that's one of the things I'll probably do tomorrow is soak a bunch of dal and make some sort of it's basically Indian beans or pulses or grains and such, and it's fairly simple. The kind of the prep after soaking them, it's mostly just sautéing an onion and a tomato and adding spices to your oil beforehand. It's not as complicated as I think people make it out to be sometimes. A lot of my dishes mostly take a lot of time.
Wow. Well, you'll be happy tomorrow to know that my choice between what I'm going to put on peanut butter will either be, let's see, grape or strawberry. I may find
Those are terrible. Boy, you got to get boysenberry. That's the only flavor that's worthy. Or jalapeno jelly. Either one.
Hey, I like this jalapeno jelly. I'm a lover of hot things, and matter of fact, I gave somebody a Christmas gift that was jalapeno jam of some sort. So.
Nice.
Very nice.
Here's a big play here. Slant to CJ Ham.
Not double teamed.
4 minute zone. Picked off.
Oh, gosh.
I keep saying, it's not like I'm rooting for Tony over Brad or anything. I'm just kind of rooting for whoever's behind make it a game. So,
right.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, I'm the same way, but
rooting. Yeah, I apologize if it sounds like I'm rooting.
No, it's just like you're thinking about all the bad breaks that he's had so far. But that's the way you win titles sometimes. If you get on a roll and your opponents just run into those landmines or just stub their toe over and over again, you can get a long, deep playoff run going.
For what it's worth, if you can make them pass it a whole lot, there's just a lot of more negative plays, catastrophic negative plays for an offense when they're passing. It's not just the sack. Sometimes there's sack fumbles, drops from the receiver, interceptions, of course, and receiver fumbles. But the huge returns you got out of all of those, receiver fumbles, sack fumbles especially, but flat interceptions, there's just a lot of really big plays the defense can make if you can make them a passing team and kind of a one-dimensional team. So,
Well, wasn't it Woody Hayes who said 3 things happen when you throw a pass and 2 of them are bad?
I think so.
Sounds right. I knew that was a famous saying. I couldn't remember quite who it was, but you nailed it, Michael.
And that's how you get guys like Rex Kern to be your quarterback, because you're basically telling them, you're not throwing it, buddy. We just got you in here to handle the snap and
manage the game. Right.
And guys, it gets late early around here. Look at this. It's 11:06 left in the game.
Right.
Chicago's got a 10-point lead. They got the ball. Tony's up against it, calling run, plugging the zones, calling pass, and Brad just keeps moving the ball down the field.
To your point, Dennis, Tony Romo made a great point in the AFC Championship game. I believe it was that, or maybe it was the NFC, but that the game may be a little later than you realize, because it could just be each team has 1 possession remaining. And as a matter of fact, I can't remember which game it was, whichever one Romo was calling, but it was a great point, because you're looking at 2 5-minute drives, and that's the game, so.
Yeah, it was the AFC one, because he was advocating for the Bengals to let the Chiefs score so they can get the ball back, which everybody criticized them for.
Oh yeah,
there you go. There's your break.
So it's going to get the punt.
And that's the best you can have. I mean, you've got a wide receiver who's maxed out, so you only got the 3 as a -1. But even that, you can get wins playing defense if you can get them to pass guess right. Ooh, only +4. That's a point where that punt return comes up. I don't want to say anything because Jay may want to listen, but Dennis made a huge play in IFL championship game of, 74 on a 12 punt return, long gain late in the game.
Mm-hmm. That was huge. Yeah. So and that league, you draft your coverage, your kick coverage, right?
Yep.
So he, you're picking from the 70s kick coverage. There's a lot of long gains on 12, so you got to pick your poison. But you're like, oh man, don't come up in this critical spot, and I got it. So.
I personally think you definitely have to score. Looking at this drive, you don't want to be in 4th and 9 or something, but you also you can't drain 6.5 minutes off the clock.
Right, and that's the problem is both these quarterbacks, they move the ball with running and flat passing. So you almost have to be perfect here. If you're Tony, you're going to get the ball probably 2 more times. You got to score on both of them.
Yeah.
When I was watching the S28 loss by Atlanta, I believe it was in the post game. Nathan brought that up, or maybe it was during the game or in chat. But he got behind and he goes, Dak's just not a good comeback quarterback with this particular year, and that's exactly right. You've got a guy who's mostly benefits by flat passing and good must runs, and those. There's just not any way to save time when you're running an offense full of flat passes and guys that kind of need to throw short and hit their must runs. Takes up a lot of time to move the ball.
And that's what happened right there. Yeah, a good draw call by Tony. He hit the defensive nose tackle 0 + 3. That's what I was doing against Brad. Is you just keep running into those 5s and 6s on the D line. It's like, come on, go on my card for a change.
Mm-hmm.
But, Sebastian Joseph Day comes up with maybe the play of the game, just getting his stuff there and forcing Tony to punt. Although now this is where I would have definitely gone for it here.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing and about to jump in with that, because of the fact that 16-3 if you can hold them to a field goal, but how many more possessions are you going to get, especially if Chicago picks up a couple first downs? Sebastian Day is one of those guys I kind of like coming out. I just did not put enough, draft capital into getting him. He was there like in the 4th round, and I didn't. And then of course he goes in like the 5th round, and it's like, yeah, I knew he was better than that, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on that first year.
He went undrafted in a few leagues and wound up being like a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I think.
Yeah.
He just barely went this year in Autumn Wind and or SOMIFA, one of those leagues. You're right. In some leagues he was already rostered by the guys who grabbed him, but some didn't.
Here's Taylor picking up 3, guys strong, 2nd and 7. 7:12 remaining. Got 6 unfatigued carries remaining for Jonathan Taylor. I expect to see one of them here. Nope, he's looking in at a 6. Free safety moving up.
Yeah, he's run that play pretty consistently now, basically taking the left inside linebacker, shifting him over to the left. So you've got a 6 on the right, a 6 in the middle, and 2 4s there on the left, and then just deciding whether or not to call run or pass.
Yeah, I've seen Jay Villing play with poor defensive ratings using a similar philosophy as that, as move both inside linebackers up, cover up your weak nose tackle, and then just bring your free safety up and, really out-coach your ratings.
Correct.
Jay is really good at that.
I think can you get another run here? And there was no containment there either. I think that's what thing I was going to mention is that Brad seems to be content to run on third downs, trying to pick it up on the D cards with those 5s and 6s on the old line.
And he might have picked up that Tony's had one of the 2 middle linebackers out of zone about the last 4 third and contained. So he may be just thinking, I can fish for that and maybe catch him if I do get a short game.
Yeah, 50% containment then if he does move one of them and you guess the right one. So now we're back where we started. It's still 6 minutes. You still can get 2 possessions. You just got to be perfect on offense, and now you have to be perfect on defense and get a 3 and out pretty much.
Still can't call out of bounds plays yet, or else he would. So he's going to pick up 5. It's going to bring us down to 5:24. And we'll have some 3-3-5 options coming into play for Chicago before long.
I don't think you'll see Brad do that. He's just going to stay base. He's going to stay with what's worked. And I don't think he's even going to move the free safety up. So if you want to take some shots on short passes and maybe get some dump offs, now's the time to do it.
I haven't watched Brad enough recently to know if he's would lean toward the 3-3-5 here or not. But I know a lot of coaches definitely would. I think NFL Ed for sure would go to a 3-3-5 on D. And
I would as well, but Brad is more of a stand around. He'll plug his own with the inside linebacker like that, but he's going to trust his team to get his ratings to get the job done.
Yep. Kelvin Beachum not able to make the block there, so 3-yard pickup for Michelle, and we're looking at 2nd and 7, ball at the 46 of Chicago. Obviously, you won't see any punts here, so 4 down territory, but 4:12. Precious seconds left here.
Tony's dying for a white die 6. He says, "Where's my white die 6s? There's one."
Big Ben.
I'm surprised running isn't an option here anymore. I'm surprised he hasn't gone 3 wide. Woods' card is pretty decent, and plus he's got a 4 on him. And if he's going to be going short here, I would basically stay with this formation for the rest of the game.
Let's check Tony's kicker. I think we looked earlier, but I think it may have been at Brad's. So Zane Gonzalez is 2 through 7 and 11 and 12, 23 to 32. That's not good. And only 2 through 5, 33 out. He goes to the 39, but 2 through 7 and 11 and 12. I don't like those odds. I don't know if I'm kicking a field goal right here if it happened to be 4th down. You almost got to get a little closer. You don't want to, 59% chance or something of hitting.
You got him on the double team. How about that?
Yeah, he finally moves his free safety for the first time now that he's inside the 25 and threads the needle. Big Ben.
3 wide receiver set. Now we see the nickel here, 1st and 10. Short Njoku. It's going to be defender extra short gain, knocked down. Rodney McLeod, I believe, it makes his 2nd play of the game.
Yeah, if he's trying to avoid the double team, that makes sense. But like all of these guys are defended by 5s, and he's really not good short. I think you just flip a coin at this point between. If you're going to go against the 5, it's either Ayuk or.
Back to Njoku.
There's a 10-yard pickup, and he doesn't get out of bounds. I doubt we'll see a timeout. It's possible. No timeout. It's got all 3 remaining. 1st and goal at the 4. It's got the full house. So he's showing run.
Yeah, but he might pass just to make sure he doesn't have to worry about the clock stopping.
I think everybody is kind of looking at that. clock as far as any offensive play call. Short to Michelle. Guess right. It's getting complete. Of course, we have no dump offs here. Doesn't cost him any time. He's going to more of a passing look with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers here.
Gosh, I kind of wanted him to stay in the full house.
He's going to run it here.
It's one of those counter tendency things you may be.
I was wrong.
You not double teamed, incomplete. Still not taking a lot of time off the clock, but
He should have run it.
Well, but then why not stay in the full house? I don't.
Well, to get him to think you're going to pass it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was exactly my point. I personally, I'm almost always in full house inside the 10. I rarely do anything else, and a lot of times I'm in heavy jumbo with 2 tight ends and a full house. So I try to put together teams that are already going to be playing run formations almost the whole game. Here's off tackle. He got it. So
Yeah, Dennis.
See, told you should have run it.
Yeah.
As long as you know you're going on your cards, that Sony Michelle card is going to get you 4 yards just about every time. 5 and 6, 4, 5, and 6 I guess wouldn't. But
Hey, my team went 6 and 10 this year. Shouldn't I just be like a sideline reporter, or
you're doing great.
maybe that referee that pops in every once in a while and says it was a fumble or it wasn't a fumble?
Oh my! Onside kick. Tony gets it back.
Oh gosh.
And he's got 3 timeouts and 53 total yards, 14 to get into some kind of field goal range, because he's good through the 39 if you forget the variable. So he's in pretty good shape here, and he definitely can keep the run in play, although he's going 3 wide receiver. I'm personally, I love showing running formations that I'm not going to run into that single back guest right. I truly hate getting that on a run of mine. I love doing it to my opponents. Hate to admit it, but I hate going to a single running back and getting that guess right because I've got wide receivers.
Man, I would stay in this formation 2 tight end just to have that threat of Sony Michelle running.
Totally. Because you're also in 4 down territory, and you just don't want to lose that single back guess right or lose a pip off the run blockers. And you've always got to worry about look into Ham. He's got a 4, 5 yards, 3rd and 5. You've always got to worry about something weird coming up. If you do throw short or long, you never know. You might catch the defense leaning one way or another. I feel like you've got to be thinking about the first down marker here on 3rd and 4th, possibly here from where you're at, though. Doubt we'll see a long pass. So
He uses his first timeout instead of going to hurry up.
Yeah, it's interesting. He stayed in the same formation too. You would have thought if he was calling timeout, it was maybe to go 3 wide.
It's a double team, a left draw. Sony Michelle is going to pick up 3.
No, he moved the wrong. Went the wrong way. He moved his inside linebacker to double the tight end, and that would have been no contain. Instead, it's a 4th and 2. I think you go hurry up here.
And he's definitely improved his chances of making a 4th down. Saving his timeouts.
So, what do you do here? If you're Brad, do you call run, or do you still keep sticking with the pass call because you're trying to focus on keeping him out of field goal range?
You call run, and you flood those 2 flats.
Totally agree. 2 outside or 2 guys in each outside linebacker. You're 6 in the middle and call run. That's mine.
Let's see Tony go over the top if he anticipates that. That's my kind of football. Go big or go home. Come on, baby.
So look in, guessed right. Only against a 4, though. Short game.
A short gain. Big play.
Wow.
Now you go from, I just want to get into field goal range. Well, remember, Tony's kicker's bad. So you really want to focus on winning the game. You can still run the ball. Get those short gains out of bounds on an in run. but he's going 3 wide.
Right now, you're in 2 through 7 and 12 field goal range, so you're really can't get content with that for sure. And you're only at best tying it. So yeah, you've got to look at something, making something happen to at least get inside the sweeter field goal range, but definitely get yourself to a point where you can score a touchdown too.
Yeah.
Slanted and Joku. Dump off still in effect. Maybe he wants to get a dump off. Oh, a flat pass would have been another short gain.
Yeah, Dennis, I agree with you. Maybe it would have been better to stay with the 2 tight end set because you've got basically and try that end run. At the very least, you'll get closer to a field goal.
Right. I think he's worried about those 5s and 6s on the line. Even in this formation, you could run it. You know, you're going to get that white die 1 penalty, but we'll see.
I'm looking for an outside flat pass. Try to get out of bounds. Try to get that 5 yards or 6 yards. You need to get better field goal range. Look in. Ooh, it's going to eat up clock and your timeout.
And it's a 6 in there.
Got 5.
It wouldn't have got out of bounds anyway, guys, because it was a white die 1.
Oh.
But yeah, you almost wish he had run it there. But then again, the white die 1 penalty would have hit him. Stay base, run it, get that short gain on a 7. That's the Crowley play. But too many people know my playbook now. They're calling me runs in situations I never saw him call run before.
Plenty of time to spike it here. Only problem is I think you can still get your field goal unit on if you're inbounds.
Yeah, but he's got to get the first down in order to spike it. So it's got to be a first down or incomplete. Otherwise, he's going to have to run hurry up and go for it on 4th and 1 or something like that.
Yeah, he would have been better off just going hurry up and saving that timeout.
Bob to Kirk. No dump off here. Going big.
Go home. Oh! That was a good one. So close. So this is what, a 50-50 field goal? 60-40 field goal? What is he at?
Yep, it's roughly 59%, I think, 2 through 7 and 12. And variable.
Right.
He's better if it doesn't have the variable, but 2 through 7 and 12, if it gets kicked back in a yard, it's no good.
And he shanked it.
Only, yeah.
So there you go. It was still, what an exciting finish. We got a good
finish. Yeah, absolutely.
The other semifinal with Ed and Zeb comes down to the last play or so. So congratulations to Brad. That was a big win. Mm-hmm. Holding his breath. And of course, if he would have run it on one of those plays, maybe got a little bit fewer yards, 2 through 9 was good on the next range. Even Brad feels bad. Brad's like, wow, sorry about that, Tony. Well, that's a good consideration. Tony says, I guess I should have drafted a better kicker. I think, Tim, I think you'd agree with me, Michael, too, that when you're in a position to win a championship before the season, you got to dot your T's or dot your I's and cross your T's, because that can be a big factor.
Don't I know it? Don't I know it?
Yeah, I absolutely believe that's a great investment for a championship contending team or a team that is playing really low scoring games.
Do you know, when I first started getting into this hobby again 5 years ago, and I'd go back and I'd listen to Tom Cook's broadcasts, I can still remember him railing on, I don't know who it was, and I don't know which league it was, but he called him the Blair Witch Project. And it was the kicker for the Vikings, and how he just ragged on this team because they'd stayed with this kicker, and it basically cost them in the playoffs. I don't remember the whole story, but I remember him telling that in a season preview show, and would not let it go. And Tom has a tendency to do that. Yeah,
Blair Walsh. That's
Blair Walsh Project. That's it.
Yeah, he was the infamous kicker that missed that chip shot against the Seahawks, I think, where would have knocked the Seahawks out, and they advanced miraculously.
Yep.
So, we got Nathan here.
I've quickly pulled out the book of records for SOMIFA, and this will be Brad's second Super Bowl. He's 0-1, so he's got a chance at his first title.
Very nice. And Tony hasn't won a title yet in SOMIFA. He's won back-to-back SSFA titles, right? So he can lick his wounds and go back to fighting for another day.
Yeah, I don't know about SSFA, but I'm looking. Nathan hasn't been to a Super Bowl yet.
No, not Nathan. Tony, the one.
No, I'm looking at our later game in SOMIFA. And then, of course, Zeb's been in a few Super Bowls.
Well, since we got Nathan here, well, how about a little pregame thoughts on, we'll make sure we don't show this to Zeb. So what are you thinking in your game against Dallas?
We'll see. He thrashed me in the regular season and then beat me twice in S28. So
you're due.
Maybe I'm going to get lucky in this one.
That should be a good game. It should be a good game. Zeb is not your typical 9-17 because he's such a good coach. He'll get the most out of that team. And we're going to be broadcasting. I'm going to make a new link.
Who won the first game?
Brad and his Chicago Bears
Mario.
won 13-10 over Tony and his Denver Broncos after Tony had a series of bad breaks, a series of unfortunate events, a couple of missed field goals, one at the very end. He couldn't convert on downs a couple times. Well, what else was there, Tim, that just didn't take? It just seemed the roles just seemed to go.
Yeah, you'd have like a guest wrong flat. The opponent would have 2 men in zone, and it was just always coming up off the 2 men in zone when Tony would be throwing, and never off Ben's card. And Ben's, got like 24 completions. So it just seemed like it was kind of one of those kind of games in the first half, especially for Tony.
And score 10 points. That's kind of how it goes.
I'm going to throw some karma your way, Nathan. You're one of those coaches I've kind of felt like I was going into last year's SOMIFA playoffs. It's kind of had a lot of kind of close seasons, and you're kind of like, well, one of these years it's just the stars are going to align, and this is a good team that's going to get all the way to the end and win the game. And I kind of felt like you're one of those guys that's kind of due.
Some Minshew magic.
Some Minshew magic.
And what is it? Minshew against Dalton? Is that our semifinal?
Heavyweight battle.
I love it. So, all right. Well, I'm going to shut this one down. All you guys are welcome to join me. Nathan, come on the post game after that when I put up the new link. Good luck to you. Your opponent will be Jonathan Taylor and company. So make sure you get there with all you guys healthy.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Tim.